A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic escalation of international trade tensions, China is actively reaching out to other nations as the United States imposes additional tariffs in an apparent effort to consolidate global opposition against Washington's economic policies. This strategic maneuver comes amid a backdrop of crumbling global markets and increasing uncertainty regarding international trade relations. President Donald Trump's administration has recently announced a temporary pause on tariffs for many countries, but this has not deterred Beijing from its aggressive stance. The Chinese government has made it clear that it will not back down in the face of the ongoing tariff war, vowing to fight to the end. As the U.S. ramps up its trade war, increasing the tax rate on Chinese imports to a staggering 125%, China retaliated swiftly with its own tariffs on U.S. goods, set at 84%. This tit-for-tat exchange highlights the escalating tensions between the two economic superpowers, with both sides digging in for a prolonged battle. Lin Jian, spokesperson for China's foreign ministry, stated during a press briefing, "A just cause receives support from many. The U.S. cannot win the support of the people and will end in failure." China's diplomatic outreach has notably focused on Europe, with Premier Li Qiang engaging in discussions with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. This dialogue aims to strengthen trade ties and cooperation between China and the EU, signaling Beijing's intent to forge alliances amidst the growing isolation imposed by U.S. tariffs. The Chinese state-run Xinhua news agency reported that Li expressed China's willingness to deepen trade and investment cooperation with Europe, emphasizing the importance of communication and mutual understanding. In a video conference, Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao condemned the U.S. tariffs, labeling them as a violation of World Trade Organization (WTO) rules and a threat to the global economic order. He characterized the U.S. actions as unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying, reiterating China's commitment to resolving trade differences through negotiation, but warning that China would respond forcefully if the U.S. continued its current trajectory. China's outreach efforts have also included discussions with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations (ASEAN), highlighting the importance of regional cooperation in the face of external pressures. Premier Li has been actively engaging with business leaders to assess the economic landscape and potential impacts of the ongoing trade conflict. In Hong Kong, China's foreign ministry reiterated its unwillingness to negotiate with the U.S. under the current conditions, describing the U.S. as a tariff-wielding barbarian that cannot expect cooperation from China unless it changes its approach. Wang Jingrui, a spokesperson for the ministry, emphasized that the U.S. must rectify its practices and adopt a respectful attitude toward China if it wishes to engage in constructive dialogue. Despite some nations expressing discontent with U.S. policies, many are hesitant to align themselves with China, particularly countries like Australia and India, which have their own historical disputes with Beijing. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese stated, "We engage with all countries, but we stand up for Australia's national interest and we stand on our own 2 feet," clearly indicating a reluctance to enter into a partnership with China. Taiwan, a close ally of the U.S. and a significant player in global technology supply chains, is preparing for its own negotiations with the U.S. regarding tariffs, as it produces vital components for the American tech industry. Meanwhile, Southeast Asian nations like Vietnam and Cambodia find themselves caught in a difficult position, as they have benefited from manufacturing shifts away from China but are now facing the brunt of U.S. tariffs. As global markets reacted to the uncertainty, stock indices in Japan and Germany saw significant gains in response to Trump's temporary tariff pause, while U.S. futures remained subdued. The volatility in the markets reflects the uncertainty surrounding the future of U.S.-China relations and the potential for further escalations in the trade war. As the situation develops, it remains to be seen whether China's outreach to other nations will yield any substantial alliances or if countries will continue to tread carefully, balancing their economic interests against the backdrop of U.S. pressures. The world watches closely as the two giants navigate this complex economic battlefield, with the potential for both cooperation and conflict hanging in the balance. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.